Let's go.
There we go. Hey.
Hey, how we doing, folks? We need a new
What's up,
soundtrack.
people?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Koi Culture. How we doing,
yeah.
Sid, Sam, Shane?
How we doing, everybody? Dino,
All
how you
good,
doing,
man.
bro?
Yeah, Shane, your brother's actually come in before we actually finish. I mean, last week he come in and went, afternoon, guys, just as we cut the stream off.
Yeah. Bless him. If fucking work was flat out, but he sent me a message earlier. Good morning, Lex. Good morning.
So,
Lex is, yeah. Oh, Sid's just muted. There we
No,
go.
I was just there's a train going by, folks.
Ah, gotcha.
So, Sam, what's new? What you been up to?
Some small changes in the filler house. I'm about to do some automatic water top up on the growing tank.
Ooh.
Yeah, similar to the one I got on the main pond. I'm in the middle of some wood decking outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you putting an automatic top up in because you're changing your filtration because you're running an easy pod on there, aren't you?
Yeah. No, just because it's in the way it is now. Water is coming out of that pipe into the filter, and when I need to top up the growing tank, I need to switch the automatic top up off, so it's on all the time, and put a hose on that pipe and put it in the growing tank. So just to make it easier.
Yeah, got you. How we doing, everyone that's popped in?
Hey guys.
Yeah, we see them all stopping in. I see them all coming in.
Yep, scrolling in. Mustangs in. How we doing then, Mustang from Western Australia?
Ken, good morning, Ken. Chris,
Daz. Chris is in America. She's going to kick me in the head because I can't remember whereabouts she's from. I know Maureen's from New Hampshire. So, Sam's on water duties. So, what have you been up to this week, then, Shane?
Mine's just final preparation, shopping, getting the timber because we're actually going to put as I said, we're going to put the wooden roof on. So the roof panels will actually come tomorrow.
Nice.
So I don't know, depending on what the weather's like. This afternoon, I might run up the garden and take the roof off the greenhouse so it's ready. If not, it'll be a case. Not at the moment, no. But because of the extension cable up there, it's a case of we don't really want to take the roof off, and then it does start raining, and then I've got to try and work out how to box the extension cable off to stop that from getting wet.
Mate,
just put a plastic box.
I tell you what, you millennials just don't think outside the box, do you?
Put a plastic box flipped over it.
Right? You get a couple of carrier bags, wrap the extension lead in a couple of carrier bags, some electrical tape either end to make a seal. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Get up there after the show and get that pissing roof off.
Yep, that's actually funny you mentioned that with the bags, because I was over and helping a friend this last weekend, and he made that trick with the bag and some tape, and the bag was full of water.
Oh, maybe he didn't put the.
He didn't form a proper seal then, did he?
No, not at all.
It doesn't matter. You just put the open side down.
Yeah, but
it doesn't.
But he put the open side up.
Country. Yeah, that's. What's the point?
Well, there you go. I was going to say,
That's
well, I
why I
have read
said
you
just flip a
probably
plastic
doing
box
it.
over it. Flip a plastic box over it, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bucket.
But yeah, he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand why the power was cutting off all the time.
I'm not surprised.
Sid, we've got a question for you there, mate.
Yep. Not yet. I haven't looked into it. I'm pretty sure I can, but I haven't looked into it yet. I've not had someone approach me for that. But if you want some koi, I can send it to you no matter where the hell you are. I'll get it to you, bro.
Go.
Nice.
There you go.
For sure.
Nice.
But I haven't looked into it. I have my sisters are in the States and they've been hounding me to get my ass over there. So I'd love to bring you some fish.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be.
And I'm just going to say one thing, Chris. You failed your mission because you failed your mission. She knows. She knows. And I bet she's chuckling to herself.
She's supposed
right.
to figure out and come on the live tonight.
Yeah, her mission was to get Maureen and herself to come on the live today, and
Yes.
I don't know. Mission impossible failed.
Yeah, we was waiting on that email.
It's a link. It's a link. You just need to open the link on a phone, enter the studio, and you'll see us there. It's that simple. Vince could figure it out. Okay, Vince could figure it out. So if you can't figure it out, folks, that's an issue. You know, you need to go for tech classes.
So what have you been up to this week, then, Sid?
Oh man, I've taken on a couple of big projects, a couple of nice, sweet projects. I told you about one the other day. And now we've got a fresh one that's got an even bigger waterfall. You know, so like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
That last one was big. How high was that last one?
The last one was 22 feet. But the next one, but the next one's gonna be
amazing.
It's gonna be about 46, I think, 46, 47, somewhere in that range. Hitting on 50 wins.
Crazy.
Mission not failed. But
you didn't message me so I could send you the link. You don't be mad.
Vince, go send them the link, bro. Go send them the link. Send them the link. Let's see if they've got it in them to follow through.
Come on, Chris.
Yeah.
It just so happens I have both of them on Telegram.
Oh, really? Perfect. So, Shane.
Yes, mate.
Continue. When are you looking at finishing your shed, bro? Because I am.
So, as I say, I've already got the metal with the sides. So once the greenhouse comes down, metal sides will go straight on. I have got some clear plastic for now that I can put around on the sides before I put the sheeting on. Because obviously I've got to measure each of the roof plastic panels that come off the roof because they're going to go onto the side. So obviously I've got to measure that and see whether I've got to put like a downward strut in somewhere up the top just to fix it properly. But pretty much I reckon tomorrow's going to be a busy afternoon where I'll literally, once the roof's on, I might just get the urge to just be like, you know what? Bang it. Greenhouse down, bang the sides on, just put some plastic sheet up for now and just get it open.
Go for it, man. I'm so keen on you finishing this now.
Yes, literally at the final stages.
Subtle pressure, just a little bit of pressure.
The length of time it's taken him, you know, you'd think he was on price work or day work, you know, or day rate, you know what I mean?
Oh man,
you know, he really is hanging it out, isn't he?
Yep.
You know,
I want to make sure. Yeah, I've got to make sure it's all you know, all tickety boo.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
pretty sure you
doing
could.
the job properly and then taking ages to finish it. I
Yeah.
have the complete opposite with Rick. Oh, I've never met such a messy bricklayer in all my life.
I was going to say the videos and whatnot. Chris says she's
It's
going to
like,
go and she's going to go and ring Maureen now.
I can't.
guys,
I can kind of connect with Rick. I kind of work like that. I'm simple. I get it done. Get it done quick.
yeah, I know. I'm all
Then
for
you
getting
spend
it done
twice
as quick as possible, but
Yeah.
honest to God, man,
Yeah.
literally.
You need to finish that shit up now.
Well, it's just we've run out of blocks now. We need about 75 blocks,
Right.
and then it will be done. I think Rick was trying to get some blocks sorted over the weekend, and if he has, then Monday those walls will be up. If not, we'll be doing stuff around the farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, fingers crossed, because if we can get them up Monday, then Wednesday we can get polystyrene and liners in them.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, Lex.
She's right.
So
She is right.
yeah,
We need
and
to. We've been trying for a little while.
Go on, Sid.
No ladies want to get on this show, man. What do we say now?
Yeah. Anyone
Just
from
a couple of coin nerds
UK,
sitting at their ponds.
Europe, America, anywhere. If you want to come on and join us and tell us and everyone else watching how you do things in your neck of the woods, that's what we're all about here. It's international.
Yeah, international. Get to know how everyone's setups are. Different climates and all that. Afternoon site.
Sam, what's been up, man? What you been up to?
Yeah. So
I love the content you've been putting out, Sam. I've been watching those reels. There's some clean reels. The water's looking good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's even better is it's in English.
Yeah.
The amount of times he'd put a video out, and the first comment would be mine. It'd be like, "Where's my subtitles?"
Yeah. Don't miss that.
No.
It just it take too much time to make subtitles. Yeah, and people.
So how are you finding
it in English?
Yeah. So how are you finding it, being predominantly a Danish speaker?
It's still some kind of weird to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
You're
kind of.
fine.
I know. Yeah. I think it's okay. I'm gonna get used to it.
Oh yeah, it's all going to take time, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously having the lives on a Sunday with us as well, it's just going to help.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Jigsy. See, there's another one that's failed his mission. Jigsy, he promised to come on the show, didn't he? He's failed
3 weeks now.
Why don't you try and send him a goddamn link as well, Vince?
He should have been on.
Who knows? Maybe we have 8 screens.
And,
we can have it.
I've been playing with pipe again.
You've made sure of that.
Oh no, I did make sure of that.
Well, I've been ripping things apart again at Twisted Towers. The Eric One prototype carcass has been taken out.
Yeah, I see that short.
Yep, that's been taken out and is going to become part of the biological filtration for the Twisted Rocket Pond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, I'm never going to be able to get hold of the original Eric mat that Peter had in there.
Yep.
What I plan to do is have it running horizontal flow like it was designed to do, but instead of having Eric mat, I'm going to use Jack mat instead. So basically what I'm looking at is the clover 4-leaf multi-bay thing that we've got.
Yes.
That just being settlement and mechanical filtration. Then from there, gravity feed from there through the Eric, which will be full of horizontal jet mats, so the water actually flows between and through it with aeration, and then go from there to the pump up through said spray bar that I'm in processes of making, and down over a small shower where Rick can grow some chilies, or we're going to grow some tomatoes in there. But there will be some plants in the top of the shower, very much like Rick's going to do with these chilies.
Yeah, just to give it that extra feed.
There, so we've got extra chilies for this year's chili challenge. Or whether I decide to do some tomatoes is a different matter, but there will be some kind of plant growth going across the top as well, very much like Rick does.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Jigsy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Go kill it, bro. 2 beers. You owe me 2 beers. You need to have 2 beers, Jigs, for your birthday.
So, Vince, what now you said the original Eric mats. What's the difference between the original Eric mats and the Jap matting?
Peter had spoken with a company, and it was very much like Jap mat, but the way that it was put together and compressed, you actually had more surface area on the Eric mat than you did Jap mat.
With the Jap mat.
And also the Eric mat was a grey colour.
Okay.
Whereas Jap mat is blue. And there was, when you held it, there was actually a weight difference as well.
Yeah.
So it's probably like the material in which it's actually made out of.
Back when Peter designed it, you know, he actually cut a piece in half, and you could actually see that there was considerably more surface area in the middle of the Eric mat than there was on the Jap mat, because the way it was put together with more strands, tighter, compact. But with the Eric principle was horizontal flow. So you've got a rectangular filter, and the water in through that front plate, and then travels horizontally through the Jap mat, which is in blocks. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks with gaps in between them, and then the water used to flow between them. And then you hit your return, which you can either have pump fed or gravity fed, and then back to the pond. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it back into almost what it was originally. The only difference being on the Eric filter, it had a brush box. So it came through, hit a brush box, and then went through the Eric mat area. And there was where you had your block. So you had a block of Eric mat, and then you had an air bar, which was disrupting the air here. And then you had another block, and then you had an air bar in between. So you've almost got the aeration you would get in a bio chamber, an active K1 chamber, but done with Jap mat, Eric mat. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out that brush box. I haven't got the brush box anymore because it got used for something else many moons ago. But there's not going to be no brush box, because the multi-bay is going to become, like say, settlement and mechanical, and then it will go through there, and that will become the first part of the biological, and then the shower will probably be full of light ag, and that will be the last section of bio before it goes back into the pond.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
yes, mountains do a spiral mat. Yes, they do. but it is very different in respect to Jap mat. I was also given some Jap mat from Andy's Koi Puddle, and
Yep.
that is an aftermarket Jap mat, and that is completely different next to. So you can
Normal.
tell a difference between the different brands. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
So I've got some
each
Jap matting in the up in the shed. That obviously when I come to do the DIY backy, I was thinking about putting some of that into it as well as like the
Yes.
lava rock and things like that. So I have got a sheet of it up there. It's probably about this, but it's a good chunky piece.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I just
another thing you'll find is you'll find a width difference between the different brands as well.
Yeah, you can tell if it's like you're like the main Jap matting because it is quite thick.
Yeah,
That's
but
funny
I have
because in India we call Jap mat the white stuff.
we got a completely different meaning for that over here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Over here,
I'm not
over here
talking
we
about
call,
snow either.
No.
I just want to add that. Now, what do I say?
Yeah.
Okay, in India, everybody refers to the Jap mat. You think the white stuff, okay?
Well, like the floss.
Yep. Fine filter.
No.
Okay.
I'll send you a bit of Jap mat so you can
No,
see the
I know
difference.
I know the blue stuff. I use the blue stuff as well.
So I'm going fucking grab the sheet out of the shed.
At your age, I wouldn't have thought you'd need the blue stuff, Sid.
And again, Vince pulls it out to a different kind of rating show. Every week, Vince. Every week.
Penny 18.
Yeah. I should just get one of them clips from GTA where it's like, Peggy,
no, look at him.
But
Oh.
you know the black stuff, the more porous one.
No, we don't know the black stuff.
No, I think you're referring to the carbon sponges.
No. Okay, let's take a second.
We lost
Let's
Vince.
take a second.
We lost Vince.
Well, we can still hear Vince, but we just can't see him because he's absolutely breaking himself right now.
Okay, so there is filter sponges. Yeah, filter sponges.
Yeah.
I just buy from the manufacturer, from a manufacturer. Yeah, and I buy them at ppm. Like,
Yeah.
how small are their holes? You know, and 60, 40, 20. You know what I mean? Small, and that's pretty much how it works, man. I don't really go based on anyone's brand. If I want fine filtration, I just take smaller pores. You know, that's pretty much how I work.
Yeah, that's stuff we used in aquariums.
Yeah,
That's the same with the PPI ratings on it.
Oh, PPI, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, those are
Pretty
the
simple.
parts per million ones.
I don't know.
I think it's PPI or PPM. I don't really remember right now.
So PPI, isn't that insurance protection or something?
Yeah. It's ppm, parts per million. It's the same thing as what we've been looking at with obviously the Raspberry Pi system and everything like that. It all goes on ppm.
No, it is PPI. You can get it in 10, 20, or 30.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Denmark as well.
Exactly.
Glad someone else knows about it because it's.
Yeah,
You can
I used
always
it a lot
trust
when
Sam.
I had aquariums.
Yeah. That stuff works
Yeah,
pretty well
I've
for me, man.
seen,
So I get to buy them in cubes, like 3 by 3
Yeah.
feet cubes. And I can just hack them to the size of my sump. squeeze them in,
Okay.
or I can get sheets and like layer them in, and the water is forced to go through it regardless of
Yep.
the size of the sump, and
Yeah, but over a period of time, if they don't get cleaned, that water level will rise because they can no longer be forced through
oh,
it.
that's way after. With the sponges in a sump, in the filtration that I use, it's like once a month you squeeze those sumps out at least. You know what I mean? Once a month. And if you follow
But
once a
they
month,
are pain in the ass to clean.
oh yeah. But
Oh,
I put
definitely.
unless you put a bottom drain on the bottom of your sump, cut it off for a second, cut off the sump and the pump for a second, open the valve on your bottom drain and just take a rod and
just plunge it.
It just gets sucked out immediately, like a 6-inch drain and a 6-inch pipe. It drains really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost how you do it in the Oase filter. You just compress
in the what
filter
filter?
sponges.
Yeah.
In the Oasis.
Oase,
I haven't used one of them yet.
Because they've even got the Oase, the Screenmatic, haven't they? Which is basically a sieve above a sponge unit. A good friend of mine, he passed away, and he was running one of those. And even though there was the screen, which is a very fine micron screen, even once you go for a cleaning session and you pump on them sponges, the amount of shit that still comes out of them after going through a very fine micro screen, it was just crazy. I mean, Rick's got one of the original Oase drums that they first brought out, that was a drum combo unit, and it's never been used. It's in the shop, and you've got the drum, and then behind the drum it's got a sponge section with push handles on them.
Interesting.
So can you see what I mean? Now,
so on the small pond,
if they're going to be biological behind a drum screen, which is supposed to take out all this real fine shit, why would you need pump handles on sponges?
Yeah, obviously,
I can see
the
the same
meshing
stuff on
maybe
my
not
Tempest.
quite.
I got, even though I got my drum, my Tempest are they're crazy dirty.
Guys, how many
a
liters
lot of
of
stuff
filtration
gets through.
are these filters? Like,
second,
the Tempest, how many literage of filtration is it? How many literage of
5,000, I think.
5,000 liters.
No,
I mean
no.
How many liters of media?
How many liters of media?
Oh,
I think
media
is 7. Isn't it 7 liters?
I think it's something like that. It's 7 or 8 liters.
7 liters?
Yeah, because it's the micro, isn't it?
No,
like that
no.
big?
No,
on the Tempest, it's K plus media.
Okay,
but you can't rely on a
mine's
Tempest
still in the
to take
box.
care
I
of
haven't
an
even pulled
entire
it out
pond,
yet.
right?
Second,
No,
you can't rely on a Tempest to take care of an entire pond, right?
yes,
You can.
you can.
Yeah, I'll be running the swimming pool
as
just
long
off
as
of one.
as long as it's not a huge body of water. I say, look at my dad's ponds. He's got a Tempest running on each of his. They
And
run
that's
like
all?
a dream.
Only Tempest? Okay.
Yep.
And
See,
how big are these ponds?
my only argument is that EA states that it can be used as a standalone filter, very much like the Easy Pod, because the Easy Pod is a static media filter. You see what I mean? So is a Tempest. When you look at it, it is a static media feeder. And when you're using one as both, then that clean that you get from that little non-return valve is not enough. It's not enough to clean.
Quick
the
question.
media. I mean, my dad, when he does a clean for the pond on his Tempest, using the actual waste system that comes with it as standard, he he flushes that at least 4 times before it even starts running clear. Now, my argument with him is, if he would give in and let me fit a fucking air pump to it, then he could cut that down to at least 2.
Yeah.
Because the simple reason, because if you put an air pump on it, it creates more turbulence inside
you
that,
get more agitation
inside that 8-inch tube, which then knocks the shit off of the media, which gives you more chance of getting rid of it to waste. Can you see what I mean? Because it's being moved quicker by the air pump, so therefore it's displacing all the shit quicker, if that makes any sense.
So,
now,
quick question, Vince.
Yeah, it does.
How many liter of pond is the 7-liter Tempest taking care of?
On a standalone, I mean, if I wanted to, I could run a Tempest on my growing on tank.
How many liters is that? Like 1,000?
It's 260 gallons without filters.
It's about 700,
So
800 liters?
about the same size as an IBC tank.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just under
that
1,000.
makes sense.
Yeah, because an IBC tank is 250. So I've got an extra 10 gallons in the tank itself, plus what I've got in the Easy Pod and the bio bin. Now, I know the bio bin holds 110 litres. I'm not sure how many litres is in the upflow, but what I intend to do when I empty that in the summer to put more my ground show with the difference fish in, when I refill it, I will be refilling it with a water meter.
Just to see exactly what you've got.
So I can actually pinpoint exactly what I've got now, because I've added the upflow, I've added the air source heat pump, so there I've got more pipe work now as well, and that's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration when they're calculating their water volumes. You know, and I don't get me wrong, not everyone's got a meter to your hose. I mean, you can get cheap ones which will give you a guideline estimate, which is better than not knowing at all. Can you see what I mean? But you'll find a lot of people, when it comes to treating for the first time, especially if they're new in the hobby, and people say, right, well, you've got to treat for what you've got in the pond. And as far as they're concerned, they've got 1,500 litres in there.
But with all their filters and everything
when
else.
you add the filters and the pipe work and everything else on, it then raises
the end number.
That number. Can you see what I mean? So it also becomes, you know, your pipe work becomes part of your filtration, because you end up with that film, no matter how big or small your pipe work is, you will get that biofilm in your pipe work on your walls. And I've got to be honest, I am regretting putting the 4-inch bottom drain in the growing on tank. What I should have done was, which is the same as what I done on the toe side tank, and that is a tank connector with a 4-inch 90. And it's also something that Rick does as well. He doesn't put in sump drains. He puts in a tank connector on a 90. And I did question him on it, and like he said, if you've got your 4-inch tank connector, and you can actually get tank connectors with a dome, they're called Tommy drains.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to my brother about the other week.
You get a 4-inch Tommy drain. That's for inside your pond. You then put a 90 on to your filtration.
Yeah.
Now, where in that area is shit going to be able to gather? It's not,
In the bin.
because it's going to be pulled straight to the filtration. Now, when you think about it, when you look at the bottom of your pond and you've got a 4-inch bottom drain with a sump on it, no matter what speed you're pulling at some point in time, you will get shit building up in that sump area. And if you're not pulling enough water through that pipe work, you will definitely have build up inside that area, which is why you'll find there are a lot of people out there that have small bodies of water with low flows, and they'll use a attachment. My dad's actually bought me one, and you connect it to a pressure washer, and you feed it down your pipe work.
Oh yeah,
and then
you showed me the other day.
And you can clean it out.
And then you can give it a bloody good jet out. But do you want to be doing that every couple of months when you're in the summer, just so that you know? So
Not really.
yeah, and it's also cost as well. You look at the cost of a spindrifter bottom drain. Yeah, spindrifter bottom drain. You're looking at 120, 150 pound.
Yeah, they're quite expensive.
So yeah, my brother's just put a question up there, Vince. So a Tommy drain on an IBC with a tap to a pump for the start, and open drain would be big enough with the IBC, basically.
Is he talking about the actual hole at the bottom with the tap on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get a Tommy drain. The only way you'd be able to get a Tommy drain in there, or any part of a Tommy drain in there, is if you cut it. So you only add part of it. Can you see what I mean? If you're going to connect it to that outlet that is on the bottom of the IBC tank, are you with me? Right at the front, because on the outside you've then got that little divot in you where you've got your tap to shut it off.
Yeah, I've just got one of them little plastic, like the sleeves you get for the heater, and it just fits straight in there, so it will stop anything from going through there.
Yeah, but if he wanted to put something like a Tommy drain on there, what he would have to do is he would have to cut the bit that the dome's connected to, cut it flush till it sits on the bottom, so you've still got that dome effect in front. I see what he's saying. To stop fish getting in there, but if you're going to do that, you might as well just
what about the Tommy drain in the bottom?
Yeah, the Tommy drain, bang in the centre, and on an IBC tank, you can get away with 3-inch.
He says that you can get away with 3-inch, but yet he tells me I had to buy a 4-inch.
Well.
Yeah, I got some questions regarding that 4-inch stuff. Why is everybody using 4-inch if they don't have the flow to it?
That's a good question, actually.
Because I on my growing tank, I only made a 1.5-inch bottom drain. Because I don't only have 2,500 liters an hour.
So are you gravity feeding from there into your easy pod?
Yeah.
So a 4-inch bottom drain or 4-inch piping will put through it about 6,000-7,000 liters an hour worth of water through gravity. You know what I mean? So maybe
a lot more than that.
Yeah, I'm saying at least like through a big sump filter and things, just a single 4-inch. You know, at least 10,000 liters easy it could do, you know. So maybe that's just there for convenience sake, or maybe it's just there so that it has that surface area of bottom drain, possibly. But
but the problem is with if you got a 4-inch pipe and you're only pulling 5,000 liters an hour, you get sediments on the bottom of the pipe. You need to clean it out. But if you go down to, let's say, 3-inch or 2-inch, the velocity is fast enough to clean the pipe.
Yeah.
And keep it clean. And that's
Okay.
why I actually made my main pond with 3-inch.
Wow.
Simon, if I chuck you a link, will you jump on? Because you can explain this sort of shit, because this is your department.
Yeah, this is, they're going to say, this is Simon's forte.
It is. Si, you got to come and join us.
But you know,
Simon.
when people are talking about when people are talking about 4-inch, they can only take 20,000 liters per hour. Nope.
No, they can take more.
Take a lot more than that.
Guys, but you're getting this wrong. I'm talking about you can pump that much water through that pipe. Yeah.
So that's gravity fed.
On a gravity fed?
My phone is dead, Si.
Yeah.
So I'm just sending him a link.
Yeah, he just said he did send me a one to send him a link, but my phone was flat, as we found out before we went live.
4-inch is about, when I spoke to the engineer, it was about 36,000 liters an hour on gravity fed.
Damn.
You know, in straight pipe, every time you bend it, you lose a bit. But in straight pipe, you can take around that much. So it's a lot.
Is Simon on?
I did send Simon. There he is.
Here he is.
Nice.
Oh, my man.
Right, everyone in the comments, if you haven't already, jump across to Up North Koi and give him a subscribe, please, guys. Right, Simon.
Yo.
Floats and flows.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Well, which pipe work flows at what rate? And because we're having a debate here on why use 4-inch pipe work.
I think, well, the main reason I think why most people use 4-inch is mainly to try and avoid blockages. You know, with blanket weed and stuff like that, it can create blockages in pipe work. So I think that's the main reason why people use 4-inch. But if you're not really someone what suffers with them kind of things, then 3-inch is perfectly adequate for most filtration systems. Because, like I say, 3-inch will pull about 16,500 litres an hour. 4-inch, you're probably looking more towards 35,000 litres an hour. So if you're pulling nowhere near that, you know, if you've not got a pond, a great big pond, then you're never going to pull all that water through it to keep it clear. You know, you're going to have to be purging it all the time to clear it of debris and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nexuses, they're perfect for 3-inch pipe work because you can't pull a lot of water through them.
Yes.
No,
yes.
That's only about 13,000.
So, I mean, for systems what are running drum filters, yeah, you're probably better off with 4-inch pipe work because obviously drum filters you pull a lot more water through them, especially if you're having multiple returns and things like that. Then you're probably better off with 4-inch pipe work. But for systems like Nexuses or multi-bay filters, you know, filters like that kind of thing, you're probably just better off with 3-inch.
Wicked.
Because you just, you know, for the amount of water you're going to pour through it, 3-inch is perfectly adequate.
So that being said, Simon, your new growing on setups that you're going to be building for yourself and your son, what size pipe work are you using for them?
3-inch.
You are going to use 3-inch.
It's a 4-inch drain with hold on. How do I spin? Can I spin camera around on this?
You should be able to.
Yeah, but you have to go into settings and change
camera. Have a look. Camera facing front, facing back.
There we go.
Put in full screen set, Shane.
Yeah.
Right, so this is the pipe work.
Oh no, not on that
what?
one.
Now what you done?
Samuel, how do we get him onto full size?
You had him on full size. That's it.
So this is pipe work I'm using. This is just standard 82 mil soil pipe. It's classed as 3-inch, but it's 82 mil soil pipe. And the drain itself is just a Cockney Koi bottom drain.
Yeah.
So it's just a standard Cockney Koi bottom drain.
Yeah.
But I put a reducer in it.
Got you.
That's what I did on my pond too.
Hold on a sec. Yeah, so it's just a reducer in it.
Yeah.
Because this tank, it's only going to be 4,000 litres, and I just don't need that flow through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the mistake I made on the growing on tank in the shed, because I put a 4-inch bottom drain in there. It was given to me. It was second hand, so why not use it? But in hindsight, I think now, and seeing how things are done down on the farm and how things actually work, I would have been better off with just a Tommy drain with a 90 in 3-inch, and then gone straight 3-inch to the Easy Pod. But
yeah, mine's having obviously bottom draining on 3-inch, but then on my boys, what I'm building him as well, I'm just going to put a Tommy drain in his. Probably not even a bottom entry one, probably just a side entry one, at bottom of pond. Because for the size of the tank, what it's going to be, it's going to pull it through perfectly fine anyway.
Well, when you look back to Rick's original Munger tunnel, that had a side inlets.
Yeah.
And like he said, that was completely flat bottomed, and it had side inlets into the settlement chamber. And when I asked him why he didn't have any pumps actually in the pond, he said, well, they will move the shit about for me.
Yeah.
So,
definitely will.
In a lot of respects, he's letting nature take its course to help with the filtration with the fish just being what they do and grub around on the floor and lifting it up, which then ultimately then sends it into the filters.
Yeah, but like I say, for what it is, we using 3-inch because I mean, people don't realise just how much water you can pull through a 3-inch pipe, and most ponds are perfectly adequate for 3-inch pipe. Plus the fact you'll keep your drain a lot clearer because it's flowing at a faster velocity through it.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I find that 3-inch pipe fittings are almost the same price as a 4-inch fitting because they're not regularly used.
Yeah, well, that's why I bought a 4-inch bottom drain, because the difference in cost between a 4-inch drain and a 3-inch drain were incredible. The 3-inch drain were dearer. Yeah.
I noticed that when I was looking for mine for the IBC. I found out that the 4-inch was so much more cheaper than what the 3-inch was.
Yeah.
That's why I told you to get a 4-inch bottom drain, because when it was all said and done, it worked out just as cheap as going the other way with a drain and a 90. Yeah. When you add the 90 onto the Tommy drain, can you see what I mean? And then with doing it that way, you've only got one joint to worry about as opposed to 3.
Yeah, because you've got the top of the 90, the bottom of the 90, and then you've got the other piece coming out.
That's where I said to you, go for the 4-inch bottom drain, because it takes all of that out of the equation then. It's literally just make sure it's sealed. And if you really want to make sure it's sealed, once you've glued it and beaded it, put a fucking Obi-Wan or something around it and then take the fucker up. It won't leak then, that's for sure.
Especially as it's going to be buried anyway, so I will give it that extra bead and wrap.
It's just
peace of mind. Just peace of mind.
So, what filtration are you going to be putting on these two growing on systems in Si?
I think on mine it'll probably. I'm not sure on mine yet. I'm a bit undecided. I don't know whether to put an easy pod on it with a separate moving bed, or buy like them big blue tubs you can get, what like pubs use for bins and for bottle bins and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got them down the phone.
You know, like the filter what Gifster's got in his grow house. I was thinking of possibly just making one like that.
That seems to work really, really well.
Yeah, but what I might do is, if I do end up getting one of them bottle bins, is probably use it on the main pond, because I wanted to upgrade filtration on this pond anyway. Because of the moving bed what I've got in here, it's only got 50 litres of K plus media in it. And they're not very big chambers, to be fair. And once you start putting more media in it, they start to struggle. Yeah. So I was thinking of buying one of them.
Everybody in Indonesia, like 60% of the ponds I saw in Indonesia run with those bottle bins, and they even link them up in series and almost use them like an entire sump. Like the first one has mech media, and then the next two have even K1 and biological.
Yeah, well, them blue bottle bins, I think that one Gifster's got. What I'm going to get, I think the 400 odd litres, these bins. So, you know, you can easily get 250 litres of media in them.
Yeah.
And once you start,
imagine one of those though, so you still got the option to send it up over a shower as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
depends on where you place
now, you know.
Depends on how you place the bottles, right?
So you've actually gone off the old backies now?
Yeah, I fell out with him. Vince knows I fell out with him.
So does that mean your backy shower's not going back on?
It's still running. It's just empty because it's connected to my skimmer line.
Yeah.
So it's literally all it's for now is just to keep water circulating. And I've got a piece of in my skimmer. It's got a skimmer basket in it, and I've just chucked a piece of a jack matting in it just to catch any crap what might go through it. And it literally just circulates water out pond over the shower and back in. But yeah, I mean, last season when I had all them issues, I don't know, I just fell out with shower because I was convinced it was causing me issues, and I've just never gone back to it.
Yeah. Is this why you're contemplating building a second bio chamber?
Well, I was going to do that anyway because obviously I wanted to start feeding more, and the biochamber what I've got, it's sort of limiting me because once you start going over a certain point, you start getting nitrite readings. So you hit a limit with it. So I wanted to put a bigger biochamber in. So if I did do that, what I might do is put an easy pod on the grow on pond and then use this biochamber to go outside at easy pod.
Have you not considered, instead of putting an extra biochamber in, as in moving K1, but have you not thought about putting a jack mat chamber in and doing it that way? Because you can get a lot of surface, media-wise, surface area if you build a proper jack mat box. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's an option. I mean, I'm nowhere near that point yet. So, I'm literally just making decisions as I go along. When I get to that point, I'll make a decision, and that'll be what happens.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to pop the little boys.
So until I get to that point, I've not made any set decisions on what's going to happen. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once you've got these systems set up and running, would you ever consider like spawning your own fish in one of the systems and then bring them on?
I don't know. It's a lot of hard work, isn't it? I don't know whether I'd have time, to be honest with you. I don't know. We'll see.
From someone who has had small fry from me, how much work does it entail bringing on young fry?
Oh, loads.
So much
Loads.
work.
Yeah, loads.
And how's my chagoy doing?
I sent you a video on it earlier.
I haven't received it yet.
It's on Telegram group.
I haven't been on there yet. I've been too busy getting set for show.
And I sent us. Oh, you've been preparing for the show?
Yeah. Had to get all my filters cleaned beforehand, see?
Well, show's not till June.
No, this show, you tit.
Oh. I thought you meant national.
No, I am slowly
This
but
is
surely.
international, bro. This is international.
No, we're talking about the national Koi show.
I know, I'm kidding around.
And
But
yes,
I'm not.
I'm slowly narrowing the list down of what I'm going to take. I'm not going to say much. I mean, Big Betty will definitely be going with me.
For sure.
Gimlin Sorgoy, as long as I can get that race scale sorted out, she will go. But other than that, I'm still undecided on who and what.
You're taking your Becco, aren't you?
Well, this is where I'm in a bit of a conundrum, and I've actually spoken with Alan Tate about this, and he said if he was benching it, he would bench it as a Becco. But, and there is a big but, because it has that tiny little red dot on the top of each eye, someone could be really pedantic and say that's not a Becco, that's a Sankey, and if it goes into the Sankey class, there's absolutely fucking no hope for it. You know what I mean? So it's one of those. Do I take it and risk it, or and look at it in a class that it should never have gone into, or do I say fuck it and leave it here? Can you see what I mean?
I would definitely take it and risk it.
And I know what Simon's got.
Even if you take it and they put it into Sankey category, it's there as an appreciation piece, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there is that, but yeah, it's one of the things I was chatting with Lee Hadfield about the other week, and I got to admit, he did help ease my some of my concerns that I had about the national, and he did help affirm the definitely going for it, you know. But I won't lie, I am really apprehensive. Well,
I mean, you're going to be, aren't you? Because it's it's your first show, so
yeah.
Does the Becco have red breaking out on it, Vince?
No, the Gimrin Becco in the main pond, it's got two perfectly round small dots of red on the top of each eye. Exactly.
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like I say, at the end of the day, with that one, all it boils down to is who's benching the fish that day.
Yeah.
And then they make the final decision. I mean, if it gets benched as a Becco, then there is pretty good chance that it would take a prize, because Beccos have their own category and not many people have a Becco.
It'd be a bit pedantic to put it in the Sankey category, though, wouldn't it?
It would be a little bit. Yeah.
It would. But something in the back of my mind says that's just the sort of thing that would fucking happen to me. So rather than put myself through the stress, I'm thinking, well, no, maybe I will leave that one here. I'm considering taking the Hoshkin shower though.
Yeah. Is all Sumi still up?
Oh mate, I'm sat looking at it now and it looks absolutely stunning.
Mm. What size?
Yeah,
What size is that now?
what size is that now? She did it is coming up to 28, 30 cm at least, if not more.
It's near. It's got to be bigger than that.
Yeah, he's got to be bigger than that. I can't remember when I did the video a couple of weeks ago. I've got to go back through and take the sizes off it. But yeah,
I bet it's size 2, isn't it?
yeah, I would say it's definitely size 2.
What's size 2?
Yeah, it's 30.
Is it 35? No, they've changed them all now, haven't they?
They've changed them all now. It's 30 to 45, I think it is.
I can't remember.
It's quite a large range though to have it under the size 2.
Yeah.
You know, you've got that large gap.
Yeah, because size 1 is 15 to 30 cm, isn't it?
I can't remember now. Didn't it used to be 15 to 24, and then 25 to 34, something like that? But I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah, I think
they have changed it.
The classes have been changed. I'll have to go on. I'm waiting for Alan Tate to come back because he's I've asked him to have a look through and be honest on what I should think about taking. I mean, I've also got quite a few over in the Tosai tank that I could possibly take, and there's a couple of Rick's fish that will definitely be going with me. That's for sure.
You got any of those Deutsch Chibas?
Not in the pond. I've got a couple of Deutsch Chiba across Kikikuru in the growing on tank.
What size are
they? They're small at the moment.
Yeah.
What about that? Go on.
What about that? What?
I was going to say, what about that Adam Bayakaka? Have you still got that?
No. No, that Bonsai Kahaku, that's gone. I can't remember who had that.
Bonsai Kohaku?
Yeah.
Bonsai
this thing
Kohaku.
was about four years old, and it was no bigger than sort of like 25 cm.
What the fuck? All right.
But it was perfect. It was perfect. But no, yeah, that one moved on. Yeah. But I've got a really, really nice Duitaka Matsuba from Rick. So that's probably going to be a good contender to take with me. If
George Murdoch is asking me if I'm going to make it over the UK for the National Koi Show. Vince, when
I'm trying to get to come over, George.
When is it? How many months?
June, isn't it, Si?
Is it June or is it July?
I can't remember now. Either June or July.
If it's June or July, I can make it, but one of you boys is going to have to give me a letter of intent.
A what?
A letter of intent, because I'm Indian, right? It's not easy for me to get a fucking visa.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You sort me out with one of those things and I'll book myself the tickets, no stress, bro.
Yeah, I'll sort you out a letter of intent.
Well, then,
I got someone.
I am, George.
So it's the 29th and the 30th of June.
29th and the 30th of June. Let me just look at this.
That's for the national.
And you, Sam?
I don't know yet.
Where am I flying into, Vince?
Probably the Koi Kulture crew there.
Yeah, that could be awesome.
Would it?
Where do I need to fly into?
Heathrow, Gatwick, either.
It's Coventry, isn't it?
I'm sure we can get you, bro.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm pretty sure I can make that happen. So fuck. I'm gonna come and meet all of you guys. That's gonna be fun.
Yes, boy. That's gonna be awesome. We get Samuel over as well.
Yeah.
I'll try to figure something out.
If I make it there and you don't, Sam, I'm coming and picking you up, bro.
That's fine. That's fine.
We'll have a whip round so you can get a babysitter for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Fucking too right.
Birmingham
nice.
International Airport.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
quite
it does
close.
just say another one's Birmingham.
But if he went to Gatwick or Heathrow, he could crash here then. It wouldn't cost him nothing.
Gatwick
Nice.
or Heathrow it is then.
Yeah. Yeah, can't have the boy coming over and not come
A couch to crash on, dude.
No.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
What he doesn't know is he's coming to the show with me and he'll be crashing in a fucking tent.
Yeah, for the whole weekend. For the weekend.
That's all good, no stress.
Yeah.
Camping experience in the UK, Sid, huh?
Hey man, you don't know me. I've lived in a tent for like more than a year, man.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, been there, done that. But I'm pretty sure it's much colder where you guys are.
Yep.
Oh fuck.
Yes.
Even in June, you can't predict it.
No,
You cannot.
no. Unlike our Sid, the lowest temperature he gets is fucking 18 degrees, and then he says it's freezing there, guys. I'm like,
Yep.
you don't know what cold is, boy.
Oh man.
Exactly. Just like I've said before, I can just picture Sid turning up at Heathrow, just like Cool Runnings.
Yeah,
All them layers fucking piled on him.
yeah, it. Muslim man.
Possible. That's quite possible.
So
Johnson,
the tank
good call,
the
my
boys
kids.
going to have side. Is that going to be fry or is that going to be toe side?
I don't know. I'll let him decide whatever he
'Cause
wants.
he enjoyed doing the fry in the fish tank, didn't he?
Yeah,
He did bloody well with them.
he did.
He did. That's why you got
Whatever
a
he wants.
stunning cowboy swimming around your pond.
Easy pause.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did. My toe side tank is absolutely crystal clear, and that Veriflow pump's running at full chat, and that's 10,000 litres an hour through the Easy Pod, through the water filter upflow over the shower, and it's crystal clear in there, mate.
Yeah, see, I'll be running the IBC onto the Easy Pod.
I think with most things, it's about
Through.
getting your flow rates right,
Yeah.
isn't it? Same with most things.
I agree.
Again, that system is running a 3-inch pipe from the floor, and it is literally a 90 goes along, hits another 90, it goes up into the Easy Pod, and then we fiberglassed into that 90, and then I siliconed the grid over the top. That's probably why I'm able to push that extra bit of flow through them. But you know, at the moment on the main pond, I've got an EA 20,000, and that's running at 40%, and the skimmer is an EA 10,000, and that's running at about 30%. You know, and as the temperatures go up and the feeding goes up, I then turn the speed up as well. Yeah. But then at the same time, in the height of feeding, I can be cleaning the skimmer and the bottom drain Easy Pod every third day.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. People think that Easy Pods can be left. They can't, because they're not just your biological filter. They're a big mechanical filter as well. And if you're feeding heavy, especially when it's tosai and big fish, you know, you think your pond's sitting at 22 to 24 degrees, and you've got a couple of 50 centimeter fish. Well, they're gonna want to eat up to 2% of their body weight a day, easy.
I had an Easy Pod on my old pond, and that sometimes it were a nightmare. I don't mean nightmare as in poor filtration. I mean it needed cleaning quite regular.
Keeping on top of it.
Yeah, I need to clean my Easy Pot every day when I'm feeding the most.
Damn.
I think it's around 300, 400 grams of food a day.
Oof.
So I need,
That's
I
a
need
lot
to
of
clean.
food, son.
But
Yeah,
if you've got
then I need to clean it every day.
if you've
You
got
took
a high
what? You took that much food at one Easy Pod, Sam?
yeah.
No, it's an Easy Pot and that shower over there.
Oh, I was going to say.
But the Easy Pot can't handle that alone. So
No,
I think
no.
can it handle
no.
around 100, 180, 100
Hello.
grams of food?
How much media do they come with now? Have they got about 18 litres in them?
Oh,
Hey,
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, I think it's about
Guys.
18, 20 liters of
Yeah.
media.
hello,
Chris,
Chris.
Turn
Welcome
your-
to
turn
Koi
your phone
Culture.
to-
Do what?
Turn your phone to
Don't turn the phone.
landscape.
Turn your phone
Twist
screen
your phone.
around.
There you
Yeah.
go.
there you go.
I was
Awesome.
trying to turn up the volume. You guys are so low on your volume that it's hard for me to even hear you.
Weird.
Weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm.
For everyone watching, Chris, whereabouts in America are you?
I am in the armpit of America in Illinois.
Illinois. Oh,
The Windy City.
No, not Chirac. No, downstate, away from all that.
and how's the weather? How's the weather treating you in the pond out there at the moment? You still got snow?
No, it's been warm. 2 days ago, we almost had 70 degrees.
I was
So
going to say, I did see that high recording on the last video.
yeah,
You see
it was
hitting that high point.
warm, but now it went back down in the 40s. So we're averaging about 40 degrees during the day and in the 20s at night. So we'll wake up in the morning and there'll be frost, but during the day it warms up. So it's not terrible. It's not.
No,
it's been worse before.
You're speaking Fahrenheit, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh?
I was thinking, bloody hell, that's warm.
Normally we're not.
No, she's
around
talking in
4, 6
degrees Fahrenheit time and not degrees C.
Yeah, I was thinking, bloody hell, that's roasting.
Yeah. No, all right. So for you, I would have to cheat you the monitor wall. So for you guys, I would be sitting at 5 degrees Celsius most of the day, and then at night it would get down to about maybe -7 at night.
Ouch.
Yeah, and that's pretty warm for right now. So
Okay. Wow.
Whoa.
You
No
know,
wonder you.
Oof.
I love my tropical weather.
oh,
So
hey,
easy.
Yeah. What are you
Not
sitting
my
at right now?
it's not my fault that my great grandparents decided to go to Chirac when they came from Italy. It's not my fault.
No, 100%.
How do you find koi keeping in your part of America? Is there a lot of it? Is there an ease of access to koi and stuff?
I mean, if you're willing to travel to like Florida, California, there's some koi, but I'm not traveling 2,000 miles to go get a koi. It's just
Right.
that's a long way. And yeah, we just get there's a couple breeders on here, and like I know I found one in Indiana, not too long ago, but I mean the quality's better than
Sorry,
stores,
I think we're losing you.
but
Crackly a bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't think she's-
we don't have like shows here and stuff like that. Now they do on the West Coast, which I'm going to be going to the All American Koi Show this year. I'm hoping anyway. But yeah,
When is
out
that?
here I think Americans keep koi for a very different reason than what you guys do in the UK. I'm noticing that you guys in the UK are keeping them to get them big, get them fat, get them on, and a lot of you guys like to show them and whatnot. Here, they are strictly a fish for pond decoration, for an accent to a home. That is mostly the intent that we have to get a koi. We don't try growing it on quick. We don't try getting the biggest koi. We don't, you know, we don't have to have it perfect to its description. We look at a fish and say, okay, that would be pretty in my pond. We throw it in, we feed it in the summer, we let it go dormant in the winter, and then we feed it again the next summer. Our intent to just actually have fish swimming around in a pond.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I'm noticing that what you guys are doing is a lot of you guys are getting them super, super, super big. Well, now you have this certain size pond that the fish is too big to fit in. So you're looking to get rid of it so you can get something smaller and then start all over again. And we get attached, really, really, really attached to our fish. So there's no way I would get rid of my fish because it's too big. I would dig a bigger pond. And that's how I would
just
take
move it
care of the
over to
problem.
that lake.
Yeah.
Either that or just
I
move
mean-
it out to the front pond.
There is fish in my pond that no matter what size they get, they will never go.
Yeah, like Betty.
You know, it's all personal taste, isn't it? Because, you know, as you know yourself, you know, they do change, and they come to a point where I've got a couple in there that I've got in there now, and I'm looking at and I'm thinking, you haven't progressed the way I thought you was going to go. You've got a nice body and this, that, and the other, but it's not the way I thought you was going to go. So they'll move that on. In the growing on sense, I don't think it's a case of just trying to get them as big as possible. For me, it's more trying to bring out its potential from its genetics, if that makes sense. Can you see what I mean?
Well, yeah, but you're in it for a different reason. This to you is not only a hobby, but it's a / business. And there's a big interest into making a new variety, stuff like that. You have a deeper interest in the koi than what most people out here do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can agree.
So that's why out here we don't see that.
Yeah, in India, a lot of the people that are keeping koi are just keeping it for the decorative purposes. At least 70 to 80% of the people that are buying more premium fish are definitely keeping it for the decorative purposes. And the few that are hobbyists have a similar outlook to what you guys have, you know, which is try and experiment with it, see what's going on, see how far. I think it's more it's more the keen hobbyist that pays attention to growing them out quickly and trying the various things that these guys do. I think what like Americans and Indians, we're not so technical, you know what I mean? We're not gonna sit and get into it like that. We just kind of want to enjoy it. We just want some nice, beautiful fish, which is why I sell Indonesian fish in India, you know, and very openly and very clearly. And people love them because they're just beautiful fish. That's what they see them as, you know. But I get it.
Definitely.
And Vince is not a business, yeah. Vince is not a business. He's not.
I am. I'm just a hobbyist that is absolutely obsessed with.
Yeah, he's twisted.
That is true.
I have been for so many years.
You get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
you have a very different reason. You don't just have a pond and have fish in them, and then that's all you want. You just want to enjoy what you have. You strive to get something better.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So you're going to have a bigger turnover rate. You better never get rid of Betty, though.
No. I mean,
I'll be mad. I'll be mad if you do.
Betty, Susan Zasagi, the Ginrin Sorogoi, the Beko, they will go absolutely nowhere, and neither will the Charatsuri. You know, but like I say, there is, as well as the stuff that I've got going on with Rick down at New Forest with the trying to create a new variety and stuff, there is also my own personal stuff that I want to try and do myself, and it's more to challenge myself than anything else, to test my eye. It's why I love doing the selecting and stuff with Rick, because every time I go down there, I always learn something new about what to look for, what not to look for, or on filtration, and it's once you get into it, it does become obsessive to a degree. And you are right in what you say about differences around the world. I mean, you look at most big ponds in America that have koi, have got large rocks and boulders and gravel and stuff in the bottom, whereas you look at a pond here,
exactly, which is
9 times out of 10 you won't see any of that, because we look at it and we think, well, that's somewhere to harbor bacteria, that's something that fish can damage himself on. Can you see what I mean? By looking at it as a different way. And I can understand what she's saying about the koi becoming a decoration.
It's not a decoration. It's part like the pond itself is a landscape feature.
Yeah, it becomes
It's
part
a
of the
landscape
family.
feature. It's not a koi pond. It's a landscape feature first, and then the fish are just coincidentally in there. It could be koi, or it could be catfish,
or goldfish.
Yeah, it could be goldfish, or pumpkins,
or whatever.
Tabba
So that's
sabbas.
pretty much how they're looked at here as well.
Butterflies.
But I kind of like that method. I mean, I like that method a lot. I see the reasoning where you say that it's got spaces to harbor bacteria and things like that. But I feel like if you give them a nice big pond with some rocks and everything going for it, with some plants and stuff like that, it's like a nice natural space for them to live out their lives in. And then if you don't treat it as a pure what's sanitary koi pond, you know what I mean? You don't try and make it so sanitary that they'll kind of live out a more healthy life and a more natural life, and it becomes low pressure, man. Like, because koi can live in like a green mucky pond. They could live in a fully it doesn't really matter to them. As long as the body of water is big, they'll probably have a nice quality of life in there, so like, why not have something that's beautiful as well?
No, yeah. I mean, I just think if you're not overcrowding them, I mean, it doesn't matter what's in the pond.
Exactly.
I mean, as long
Because
as they have enough room to be a fish, I don't think there's a problem. I pulled those fish out last year after being in my mud pond for 3 years, and the only damage on one of the koi was from us, and that was popping a couple scales off. That's because we messed with it. Other than that, they were completely healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, because they are still a carp when all things are said and done.
Like, we overcomplicate koi keeping, right? It can also be so simple. It can be so simple. It could be a bog filter, just simply a bog filter with some plants, juicing it out, and you just leave it like that. You clean the bog out once every 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. The man-made pond I have in the back, I am trying to get it to where it's its own ecosystem, where the bog is going to mostly take care of it. I'm going to set up 2 easy biofilters on the bottom, and those you only clean once a year. My bog, I have it set up to where I can clean that once a year, which is all it needs. And with the bio load I've got going in there, once a year maintenance, that's it. And it's going to be all run on 1 pump. No, 2 pumps. I'm sorry, 2 pumps. Other than that, I can walk away for a month and it'll be fine. I don't have to worry about it. And those fish will be fine.
I like that method.
Absolutely.
I like that.
But
that
I think
only works for people that have
levels
space.
of the hobby.
Yes.
No, I think it's also
like
about how much space you have.
Here?
No, it's about, for the person that's doing it, it's about how much space they have. Because
Exactly.
if they have a lot of extra space, then they can do it like that without any stress. But if they're limited to a small backyard, then they're gonna try. Then you're gonna try and do it super efficiently, right?
Right.
So I think in the UK, what you guys are dealing with is a lot less space. I'm pretty sure
I agree.
they have a lot of space in the States, no?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have enough
definitely.
space to do what you want, you just buy something else that's bigger. That's what we did. We started out with a little pond.
Just some
And
acres and
when
acres
that
of
little
sweet koi
pond,
farm.
I'm telling you, when that little pond, when they outgrew that little pond that I had in the front, my husband built a very huge indoor pond in the basement for my koi.
Nice.
And I have video of that pond. And when they outgrew that pond, we started looking for a farm, a bigger area that had a pond where my koi could go. And honestly, that was a big factor in buying the property I'm at right now, is because I wanted at least a 1/4 acre pond. And that's why we bought this place. So I would have a place for my koi to grow out
Nice.
and just keep them.
Nice. Why do you think I keep building more filtration?
Oh, I know. I can't wait to go there with Maureen. Maureen better get her butt out here. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I can't wait to see your setup in person, Vince. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well,
Yeah.
both Simon and Shane have both been here and both can attain. How much room have I got in that filter house, Simon?
0.
It looks like it.
And since you was last here, I've managed to put in an upflow filter and a shower.
Yeah.
But it's how you make use of the space. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've said it for years. It's all about water manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there are ways of making that body of water think that it's bigger than it is, and that is done through filtration.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you do a great job at it.
Oh, I try my best, and that's all that anyone can do. It's
Exactly
just
that. Anyone can do. At the end of the day.
One thing I've been doing for a long time, and that is growing fish big in small bodies of water. But also,
my goal is to make this thing natural. I want a natural pond back here. I want to get it to mature. I've been having really bad string algae problems. I pulled out, actually, to be honest with you, when we measured the string algae that we pulled out 2 days ago, it was like 343 feet of it. And then I walked around the back side of the pond and saw a big clump that I left back there. So it was like over 400 feet of string algae I pulled out of that pond.
Crazy.
But I knew it was going to do that, though. I knew it was going to happen because this is the first spring of this pond. It is not matured yet. So, I mean, I expected that. But I guarantee you, after this pond matures, it's going to run itself. It's going to be just fine. I'm not going to have these issues. And like I said, it's going to be a once-a-year maintenance thing. That's going to be it. I'm not going to be obsessively messing with this pond. First year when I set up a pond, I will use the aid of UV sterilizers, chemicals, stuff like that. After that first year, I will never put a chemical in this pond ever for anything. I'm not going to do it. I just won't. Everything will be natural in this pond. And that's just the way that's going to go. I just don't believe in chemicals with the fish. I don't believe in any of that. I've never had a sick fish, never had one I had to treat for anything ever. Our fish don't get sick here, like I told John Gaz's live. We don't get the stuff you guys get. Our fish go through a really hard winter. They go dormant, and the parasites that probably they do collect in the summer, they fall off. They don't die. They're there, but they go to sleep. Our fish have such a very strong, about the only thing that I do add occasionally in my pond, and I always have since I was a kid, is stress coat. It really helps the fish out. It gets their coating so good that they can ward off stuff like that. We don't handle our fish like they do in Japan. I did during the roundup. When I did that roundup, we did touch the fish, but when I put them into that bucket and drove them back here, that bucket had like a triple dose of stress coat in there. So by the time they got back here, they had the aloe, they had all the slime, because what it does is it helps the fish produce slime on their scales. So by the time they came back here, they were already treated with slime coat. I put them in and I never had a problem. I mean, I was always taught from a little girl that the slime coat on the fish is the absolute most important thing.
It is. It's the first line of defense.
Steven's got a question for you.
Is that the API stress coat that you're referring to?
Let me look. I believe it is. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's good stuff, that.
Yep, that is exactly what I use. As you can tell, I buy big jugs of it, and yeah, I mean, I've not that it's a big deal or anything, but I worked at a local fish shop, and I worked there for a couple of years, and even all of them kept telling us that don't touch the fish. Make sure when you net. I mean, all their nets were kept in API water with stress coat. You are not allowed to touch their fish. You're not allowed to do anything. And, I mean, just from a little kid, I mean, going to the mall to get my fish when I was a little girl, they always put stress coat in there. They always, they're like, oh, yeah, it's the most important thing. You touch a fish, you're taking the slim coat off. And you have bacteria on your hands. So when I keep fish, if I have anything on my hands, a cut or anything, we have like a farm in Fleet. It's a local like farming store, and I know it's disgusting, but like vets will put on those long gloves and they'll stick their hands up a cow's rear end to see if it's pregnant or not. You can go buy boxes of those gloves, and I'm telling you can use those gloves to stick them into the pond to check your pumps, and that way you're not getting your hands in your water with sores and stuff like that. But it just, we have different little quirks that we do here, but the biggest thing has always been we don't touch our fish. I mean, I gotta tell you, when I first started watching all the YouTubers and they're reaching in and grabbing the fish and they're measuring them, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I was like horrified. I couldn't believe that y'all were doing that. I was like, oh my God. So it was an adjusting thing. I mean, but yeah, we don't do that here. We don't touch them.
What's the pricing like of that stress coat over there? Because it's quite expensive over here.
For that jug, usually a jug like that, I spend about $8. It's not expensive at all. But
that's pretty cheap. Yeah.
What size bottles are that?
Or more like, how much water does it treat?
It's a 32 ounce jug, and I'm trying to see for you. 480 US gallons.
Okay, so that's expensive.
Yeah,
then.
480 US gallons. So, but I mean, it's not something that you're going to say that again.
So it's quite expensive over here.
Well, but what's funny over there? You guys have access to meds. You got access to all kinds of different medication there in the UK. You can go into our pet shop. There's nothing for koi. We don't have fluke medicine in our pet shops. We don't have whatever other. You guys were talking about something else you have there. I forgot what it. We don't have medication for that at all.
Well,
nobody needs it.
We have potassium permanganate. You've got malachite green, formalin, formaldehyde, praziquantel in your fluke P. Yeah, there's quite a few out there. Lernex Pro.
We don't have a lot of those products either. We use DIY stuff. I look at chemicals that are available and see what people are using and try and find their Indian alternative. Or so I just go based on the raw chemical, and then the first time I use it, I'll do like a trial dosage, a couple of trial dosages, see how it's working for me, and then apply that. But so in India, there's constantly something breaking out, right? Because it's always so warm. There's a different set of challenges all the time here. But we don't get those products. I think maybe they don't have any of these issues because truly they're not handling the fish. They're just letting it be. With keeping koi, I think half of the time, if you just let things be and keep your filters clean, that's all you need to do, right? It can be as simple as that.
Definitely.
It can be as simple as that.
Yeah, I was just looking at the Stress Coat Plus.
Maureen, don't get me started on the Virkon. Oh my word!
There was a reason I left it out.
I mean, oh my word! I'm sorry, you're putting something into your pond that is a bactericide. Now, how does it know whether
what's
it's
good and what's bad
or bad bacteria?
Yeah,
well, it don't, does it?
You can always dose the good bacteria back into the pond, right?
But
It's same way anything. You could put PP into your pond. What kills bacteria, but it also kills good bacteria. Chloramine T, it'll kill bad bacteria, but it'll kill good bacteria. It's it's just saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just seems to be a fad over the last year or so about Virkon. And the thing is, you've got a lot of people that are new to the hobby and they hear Virkon and they go out and buy Virkon and they end up buying the wrong one and then wiping out their pond because there is two types of Virkon. There's the Virkon Aquatic and the Virkon S. Now, if you don't get the Virkon Aquatic, you will decimate your pond.
Yeah.
Period. No ifs, no buts.
Yeah,
so,
that's the farming
I've never
strength,
heard of it either.
if I remember correctly, the Virkon S.
Yeah. And I mean, back in the day, the breeders and they used to use a thing called Superverm, which is for cattle and sheep, but it was good for parasites.
Yeah, I think they use it for sheep dipping, don't they?
Yeah, basically it is sheep dip. Yeah,
it's some strong stuff.
Yeah, so when I was looking on, when you was talking about the stress coat, I can see at the moment on even the US Amazon, you're looking at about $53 for a 1 gallon of the Stress Coat Plus.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I wouldn't buy that on Amazon then.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's highway robbery. No, we have local fish shops here, mom and pop fish shops, and yeah, you can get it pretty cheap.
Yeah, but for someone like myself or Simon that has a pond that's like 2,000 to 3,000 gallons, then you're going to be looking at that sort of size bottle to be able to treat the pond, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, but you wouldn't treat the pond.
Amount. Yeah.
It's not a point of treating the pond. It's a point of, like, when you're pulling them out to measure, you would add just what you need in your bucket.
Yeah, but for that you can use salt as well, guys.
Well, I was just about to say, salt works just as well.
I think salt works really well as a stress coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do need to get some in.
Well, as a stress reliever.
Stress reliever, and no, it also helps them with their slime coat. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Every time I have a salt tank, the fish in there, because I use them, my hands are quite slimy, and even in terms of like, about the what is it? Oxygen regulation, I think it is.
Osmo regulation.
Yeah, osmoregulation. It helps the fish so much with the osmoregulation that it saves a butt ton of energy in his body with that, and it can divert that energy to some other things. So for a really long time, for the first 1 year of my entire koi keeping process, I was using salt in my pond at like maybe 1 kilogram for 1,000 liters, and I had not a single problem ever.
That's about 0.03, isn't it?
Yeah, and the only reason I stopped salting my ponds is because I got into this whole landscape side of things, which is what Chris is speaking about, and the salt just wrecks the plants.
Yes.
So now
Guys,
I've started.
Sorry, I'm going to have to jump off. My phone's just about to go dead.
No worries, Si. Appreciate you coming on, mate.
Right,
Yeah,
I'll catch you all in a
Awesome
bit.
having you here.
Catch you in a bit, mate.
See you in a bit.
I love the impromptu pop-in guests.
I know, it's very good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to happen. Who's going to come in? Hang on.
Oh my God.
Good.
Hey!
Yes.
Hey.
Hi Shane. Hi Vince. Sam. Sid.
Hello.
How we doing?
Good.
Look at those beautiful tanks.
Not much to do here in the winter though, so.
Where are
You got
Molly?
plenty keeping you busy behind you there, I see.
Yeah. That's why I have them. I need something to do. So summer is more the pond, and I kind of neglect the aquariums. But then winter, I go back into the aquarium thing. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank God my husband puts up with it because they're kind of in every room. I've had fish tanks since I was about 8 years old, so definitely a fish nerd.
Sweet. So, what's the plans for you this year, pond-wise?
Putting a roof over it to try to cut some of that sun, because last year, October, when we finally finished and put the water and the fish in, at that time it's like that's when everybody's stopping their filters and taking them in because they can't freeze. And so the only fish shop that's even near me, down in the next state, Massachusetts, it's the only place I can go to and get koi, but they're not, I can't go and say I want a tancho or a key at Surrey. They just get a lot of koi from I think a farm down in North Carolina, and you just buy whatever they have there. So that's why it's like when I see you, we're like, oh my God, the fish you can just pick. The breeds you can get and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. Chris is getting some.
Yeah. I know. They do have, like she said, they do have farms. I found one that's out in Hawaii, and they do ship, but thousands of dollars,
Yeah, that's like if you were to go down the lines of like Sacramento koi and things like that as well.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Perdin koi, that's another koi
just so
farm.
much for the fish, you probably have to pay the same for the shipping to get it out to. I'm on the East Coast and buying from the West Coast. It would be crazy. So yeah, most of my koi came from. It's really a water garden place, but the guy who owns it has a big interest in koi, so I get all my koi from him, and I've never ever had an issue. I've never had a death of a koi caused by a problem. I wiped out my whole pond one time because we had 3 days of over 100 degrees. That's Fahrenheit, over 100 degrees, and I was gutted. That was my fault. I didn't have enough aeration in there, and I think there was just not enough oxygen. And we had a wedding that day we had to go to, and it was so hot the bride passed out. We came home, and my husband said, I think there's a problem in your pond. All your fish went white. And I said, what? And I went and looked, and I was like, oh, it was all the bellies. They were all belly up.
Yeah.
So that was awful. That was probably about 15 years ago. So lesson learned.
Yeah,
So-
big lesson learned.
Keeping koi for 15 years. So,
I've had koi a long time, but I always, what I did is I had a small pond. So when they got too big, I used to bring them back to the fish place and go get and buy small ones so I can grow them out, because I like to watch them grow out.
Yeah.
So
You know, to watch the development and stuff.
yeah, and then we bought this house and where I have plenty of acreage, and told my husband, you got plenty of acreage. I'm taking one for myself. So built my dream
These lucky
pond,
ladies.
built my dream pond, but I'm sure that's gonna end up being probably another one. You know how it is.
We know it happens.
yeah.
We all
I
plan the
want
size of our
just
pond, and we should just double
but
it.
if you have a problem, I want a quarantine one, or mine are pretty big, and I don't want to put little babies in there. They're gonna suck down the bottom drain. So I need a place to give me more things to do in the summer.
I need a place to give me more things to do in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be bored. I'm retired now, so I need something to do every day.
So, how much have you seen change in the koi keeping in your part of the country over the years?
Honestly, here, it's hard for me to try to find somebody. That's why I was talking with you, Andy from Derby Koi, Jamie, keeping it koi. I was trying to get information because there's no one to ask here. No one does the raised ponds. Like almost all of you have those raised ponds, and that's what I always wanted. That I wanted to be able to go sit at the edge of that and look down on my fish and enjoy it. I would love to have a window, but they kind of advised against that where we have the freezing temperatures here. So I don't know if we could get away with it. I don't know, because we're minus 10, minus 20 Fahrenheit in winter, and that's pretty cold. I don't know. I just worked for that cracked. But
Vince, you guys have glass.
Find information. It was hard.
Yeah, but we don't get that
find
cold.
A bottom drain. I mean, honestly, the stuff I ordered from UK, JS Koi, I think.
Yeah.
Was the name of the company. That's where I got my bottom drain. The pipe work, the piping. It's funny that like you can't find it here. So
you had all the piping sent over from the UK.
Huh?
Did you have all your piping sent over from the UK?
Yeah. We can't.
What?
Wow.
Jeez, that must have cost you a fortune.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I did find, like, before I was thinking of going the Easy Pod route, and because that's what I watch all you guys use, so it's like the thing I was familiar with, but I didn't have somebody to ask how do I work it? What do I do? There's no one here that has that kind of thing here. They all have water gardens with a pump in the pond that pumps the water out and goes through like a pressure filter and comes back into the pond. That's how they usually set them up here. So I'm like, when I went and said, do you know how
and there's a reason for that.
They're looking at me like, what the hell is an easy pod? You want this? You want a box filter? I'm like, no, I don't want a pump that sits in the bottom of the pond. I'm tired of pulling that up and trying to clean it out, and I want extra pumps. So I bought a water. It's actually a pump for a pool, water pump, and then looked on Amazon to try to find an Easy Pod, and I was like, the amount of money for an Easy Pod to order, like from Amazon or trying to think of the company I did find here in the United States, it was astronomical compared to just ordering it from UK. Like the bottom drain.
Wow.
I mean,
If I was you guys, I would just build a sump.
You would do a what?
I would build a massive sump.
Oh, a sump.
I would build, because I build sumps everywhere, and then I use those canister filters as pre-filters before the water hits the sump.
Okay. Yeah.
So then you just maintain the can, you never touch the sump, and you're done.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like buying equipment is a waste if the equipment's not going to last as long as the fish.
Oh, Easy Pod will last all day long because there's nothing mechanical
years,
go wrong.
35 years. No, I mean like
easy.
Fiber boxes and stuff like that. The media inside it gets wrecked. It's out in the sun, it gets crispy.
There's nothing to deteriorate on an Easy Pod.
No,
it's stainless steel,
plastic and metal.
A brick and mortar sump will outlive me. And the bacteria in that brick and mortar sump year after year just gets really strong.
He's right.
And it's just I kind of feel like it's a permanent solution instead of getting into like a tech rabbit hole. Like you keep buying these pieces of equipment and it becomes like your phone and your tablet, and year after year you're like, oh, you know what, I need this model and I need that model and I need this UV and I need that pump, and ooh, maybe I should switch out the filters to those filters. You just slap a huge sump on it and you're done. You're just done. You sit back and watch the koi. It doesn't matter if you've got a landscape pond. It doesn't matter whether you've got an above ground show pond. Doesn't matter. You know,
Or you could be like me and make your own easy pod.
Oh yeah, do that. You're definitely gonna have to pay a lot of attention to that.
So go back to the right to the start of my channel, and you'll find I was running a homemade easy pod made out of a round dustbin. So
but Sid, how big are the sumps you're making?
So I do roughly an 800 liter or maybe 1,000 liter sump for every 10,000 liters of pond.
Okay.
And what media do you put in that sump?
There's 4 sumps, right? So the first sump has filter foam, like coarse filter foam, packed to the bone with coarse filter foam. Pond brushes. The first one is pond brushes. Second is filter foam. The third one is moving bed K1, and the fourth one is lava rocks. I never even clean my last 3 sumps.
Oh.
Once a month.
By the time it gets to that, it's just
my
collected
pump
everything.
has never been clogged. Has never been clogged because my pump is where the biological media is, right? So like I lift the first hood on the, I call them the hood, right? Lift the hood on the first sump, and 90% of the time, even if it's been 3 weeks, the water coming out is crystal clear, and maybe it's like the coarse media is probably 20-30% full, you know, and it's just no stress. If I was the type of person that let my pond be and didn't constantly keep pulling things out and doing this and doing that, and man, I would have it so easy. I could just sit back, enjoy beers all Sunday, watch the fish, feed them as much as I want, you know.
I'm with Sid. I agree.
But you've got a lot of sick fucks out there that like cleaning filters. They get a kick out of cleaning
I love
filters.
maintaining.
I don't think anybody in India likes cleaning filters, bro. I don't know about where you guys are from. I don't like cleaning filters.
That's because you build 6-foot fucking sumps. You can't get in them.
No, I don't need to get in them. I just pull a valve and it starts draining and I just shake up the media, but I don't need to, you know what I mean?
I mean, I can't disagree, because if you go back to when we were taking down the original Munger tunnel.
Yeah, he basically had a sump in there.
When you look at that settlement chamber that was running that Munger pond, I mean, you know, it looked bad
your stomach just by looking at it.
When we started moving stuff out of it, it stunk. But look at the quality of the fish that are coming out of it.
Yeah.
100%.
It's always surprising.
Every time I do a pond, like if I'm doing a pond build, I force the person that's building that pond to consider a minimum 10% of filtration in literage, and then as high as 20%, 10 to 20%, because I know if I do that filtration for them in concrete sumps, then they will thank me forever. You know? It will thank me forever, because at the beginning, when you're building the pond, all you think about is literage of the pond. Oh no, I don't want to give up that space. I want it that big. I want to hit 10,000 liters. But 7,000 liters of some filtered pure water, no stress, is just so much easier, right? Just bought my wife a vacuum for I thought I'd be pushing it to get up on.
Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Tony. Jeez.
Yeah. But I think it's quite funny that how we got different views on the filtration, or you know, in India and UK and in US, because if you take what Sid is saying about the sump and talk about it in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
That's certain
primitive.
No, you're almost certain that the person you are talking to would say that's a bacteria bomb that will kill your fish.
Yeah, but it's
That
also
can't be
all
done.
that good bacteria. It's also all that good
Exactly.
bacteria. If you sit and if you can't fight the bacteria, right? The bacteria is everywhere. Yeah, the bad bacteria are in your pond, there are in Chris's pond, they're in Maureen's pond, they're in all of our ponds. Yeah, it's just where they are given the opportunity to burst out. You know, so if the fish's immunity drops because your pond has a low volume of good bacteria, then the bad bacteria will kick in and start whooping their asses. You know, but if it's just a shit ton of nice clean bacteria in there, and that's matured and it's settled down, and that population of bacteria is just there, then you don't really need to worry about it unless you're dumping in new fish and pulling out fish and things like that, right? You know, but I get your style as well. It's like a modular style. You know, a modular style is something that I'd consider for my pond, or like a pond that I want to play around with, or an experiment pond or something like that. Not necessarily on a client's pond, because like Chris said, right, they have landscape ponds. These are features, right? They just want something that's easy, solid, and just done, taken care of, and then they want to enjoy the fish. Just look at the fish, toss them some
more of
pellets
a
one by
maintenance
one.
free.
Exactly, but with a modular system, you've got 4 joints, 5 joints, 3 different filters in series, maybe one pump, maybe one fitting here, one fitting there. You know, I don't think.
What are you getting at? What's
Dude,
wrong with my
your filter room looks like it's like a mad scientist invented it. I think I'd get lost in there, you know?
You wait till you come over here, Sid, and you go in there, mate.
Oh, man.
You think you've seen it on video?
Oh, man. No,
the usual reaction when someone walks in my back garden is, it looks bigger on camera. Really is. I have really taken up all of the space.
You have. You really have.
Man.
But
that's fun. That's fun, right? It gives you something to do. It gives you something to do. It gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to plan and play with and things like that. And that's because your hobby, more than, is not just fish keeping. You know what I mean?
No, you've got all your projects and everything else as well. You're building projects, and you know your mind's always moving.
Exactly.
Like, okay, so I've got this, but I could do a little tweak here, a little tweak there.
He's the type of guy that likes to work with his hands.
Yeah, always evolving.
So it works for him. But Chris, on the other hand, does not want to sit and drill out holes in PVC pipes and like, you know, all of that shit. You know, and I don't think Maureen does either.
Yeah, I don't know. So I really enjoyed the build, and I'm kind of looking. It's like once I finished that, I was kind of bummed out. Like, now what? So I don't relax.
See, both sides of the spectrum, right?
That's the building spectrum.
Yeah, I need the roof, the filter house.
So
that's the beauty with the hobby.
So once you
I tell you what, put the sump after the filter house, and it won't matter what you've got in the filter house. Okay, just take that as my piece of advice. Okay, filter house before the sump, and then you play around in the filter house, but just have the sump. Okay, the day you want to retire from being a hardware person and you want to keep fish.
But I think Gavin is it's right.
Pretty
You
much.
don't have so much space.
It's all about space.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah,
it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, space and location. I think a location is just as important.
Yes.
Yeah. It is
for sure.
Yes, definitely.
It is.
Definitely.
I mean, there's a reason why Maureen had to go to the UK for that bottom drain. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about Maureen, I don't know about you, but here, we freeze 3 feet down.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if I put a bottom drain here? My pipes would be busted. There's a reason why they're not available here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just, I fear for her. I think
I was
when
nervous.
she starts getting everything up and running, I think next winter you're going to see some issues, and I don't know how you're going to
How
fix
deep
that.
is your pond, Maureen?
The bottom drain, the part where it comes up out of the 3 from the 3 feet down. So all that, it's just in the soil there. I did wrap a Schedule 40 PVC made heat tape around that so that it wouldn't freeze, because I was worried about that. And when we build the filter house, the back wall of that pond is going to be within the filter house. So that pipe coming up is going to be in the filter
inside.
house. So
Yeah.
in the filter house, I am planning to try to do like minimal heat during the winter, just so I don't have to take everything apart. Like now, I bought my big from UK, my UV. I forget what it is.
Clarifier?
Yeah, the clarifier. I think it's a 35.
Okay.
They told me make sure that doesn't freeze. You can't have that thing freeze. And I'm like, freeze? For Christ's sake, it was 32 degrees back in November. That was freezing, right? So, I mean, they said make sure you keep it in the house then for the winter. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to take everything apart every winter. And I said, no. If I'm going to go that route, the filter house has to be heated at least above, like keep it above 40 or 45 so it won't freeze. I don't have to worry about everything freezing in there.
So with your filter house becoming the back of one wall, have you not thought about making some kind of panels for the sides and the front, and then over the winter then it will cut down on the coldness in there, especially if you're
within the
keeping
pond,
the shed warm? Yeah.
Within
Can you see what I mean?
Yeah. So when we're building the roof, I want it for the summer. I'll have screens put in on the side, but then in the winter, I'm going to put whatever. I mean, you always talk about polycarbonate, so whatever. Plexiglass, I guess.
Plastic sheeting works.
Plastic sheeting, hoop house plastic.
Yeah. More so, I wanted the screens as a predatory, safe for predators, because we have herons over our yard all the time. I have never lost a koi to a heron because I've always had a net over my pond. I wasn't going to take the chance of a heron getting it and wiping me out. I mean, they fly right over the house because in the back of our property, there's a river that runs along, it's a Exeter River tributary. So they're always around there. So I'm like, I kept it netted, but I hate not being able to just look down at them and you see that net. So I would rather have the 4 sides screens that I can lift up when I'm sitting out there enjoying them, and then, put it down to save them. But then in the wintertime, I did want to not have it open screen. I want, either clear plastic or something. Again, keep that wind off it so it doesn't.
Yeah, because that's where most of your issue comes from. Is that wind factor?
As Chris is. Chris, you have some really, really high winds. When I look at your temps and you see your gusts, we do get some though, and there is times that I'm like, ugh, I wonder if I should have put a board over the top or something just to help it. But
I'm more worried about the ground shifting and the pipe working below, and that's what I'm more worried about for you. That would scare me, because if you get a crack in that pipe from the freezing and the thawing,
I know.
I don't know what you're going to do, girl. I mean, that just scares me so bad. Oh.
If she's going to be building a filter house that's going to be insulated, where that pipe comes out of the ground, that she should be all right in that respect.
So
that's not the way our ground works.
Out of, Maureen?
Yeah, ours is like 2 feet down. They always say go 3 feet to be safe, but frost line is like around 2 feet down. So I went 3 feet down. So
no, but what are you building the pond out of?
The pond
made out of the
timber, pressure treated timber.
See, that's why y'all have. I mean, I build in concrete, and my pipes are set in the concrete.
Oh,
there's no chance of them getting stretched out. There's no chance of them cracking or moving, unless the entire unit of the pond takes some huge crack.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking she should have encased that pipe in concrete.
Well, the bottom drain pipe from the bottom drain out to where the first 90 degrees, I cemented that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I built a trench, put that in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
didn't
that
want
first
to
part
chip it.
is cemented in.
The
Yeah,
problem
I
I'm
remember
Oh, okay.
seeing
I
it
missed
going in.
that.
is
Yeah, I remember seeing
missed
that
that,
going
yeah.
in and getting cemented in.
yeah, I cemented. That was Vince who told me, cemented.
Good one,
The
Vince.
side,
Yeah.
The other side of it.
the problem I'm having is you know how I had to build this sides like a foot wider than what the real size of the pond is, because we had to dig the holes for the posts and cement it.
Yes.
And you need just room to work. Then I had all these piles of dirt, and now I'm backfilling. What I should have did is either rented like an electric tamper or something. I was just shoveling dirt and using my own body weight, stomping it down. So all that dirt now is every time we have so much rain. Every time we have rain, it keeps sinking a little more.
Yep. Keeps
Okay, so I have a
compacting
big
down.
pile of dirt that I told my husband, don't get rid of that. I have to keep using that to keep filling this in, but it's doing it on all four sides, and it's driving me crazy because I did all the pavers all nice around it, and then sinking. So
Yeah,
now,
you need to get like that. What we class as the old whacker plate.
what was it you used?
A compactor.
Yeah, some
Just
people
a
call it
mechanical.
a compactor.
We call them a whacker plate.
Okay.
Just basically a metal plate.
I think compactor works a little more internationally.
Yeah,
So,
I gotta do something.
when you dug your pond,
It'll be a
was
few years.
was it virgin ground?
Yes, it never. All it had on it was just patio. And
So what I mean is, by virgin ground, it never been dug to that depth before.
No.
So one thing that I was always told by Mark Davis, who owns Cutbrook Koi Farm, is if you are digging down in virgin ground, as long as you hit a point and stop, that soil below there is not going to move, because it's been like that for hundreds of years before you've dug that hole for that pond. So if it's virgin ground, why do you need an 8-inch thick slab to go on the bottom for your pond? You don't. You only need 3 or 4-inch slab on the bottom as your base, because because it's virgin ground, that base, whether you've got concrete on it or sand, it's never going to move, because it's still compact
the pond.
Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, the pond's not moving. It's the dirt on the sides of it.
Yeah, it's all like all the loose stuff from where you've taken it out, and now you're having to backfill.
When I was backfilling the sides, it keeps sinking. So it's like, oh Jesus! Now I got to keep adding soil. So I'm concerned, because the backside of it, that's where I want the filter house, and I want to pour concrete pad for the filter house, but I'm like, I don't want to pour it if the soil's still sinking on that backfill side. So I need something that's gonna,
Have you got a sledgehammer?
I was just thinking to just get a board and a sledge.
Have you got a sledgehammer?
And whack it?
Yeah.
Literally hold the sledgehammer upside down, so you've got the end of the handle but up here, and literally just use it as a compactor.
Use it as a plate and just
bump, 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 and just keep doing that. Add some more soil. Bump, 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 bump. You'll soon compact it down.
Yeah, I got to do something, because I don't want to start the build on that until I know that's where it's going to be. It's not going to keep sinking anymore.
Because I mean, if you just concentrate on that wall that you want the shed to go on, as you're doing that, it will naturally push stuff round the corners.
Okay.
So you can actually pick that back up once you've got your one wall to the level that you want it.
Yep.
You see what I mean? And then you can literally just follow it round and go on.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to do that. I got to get that. I want spring to get here. Oh, get rid of the snow.
Sid, can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry about that. But I was saying, what you could consider doing is you could consider making your sump under your filter house. And then you could just dig away all that
I'm
mud.
not digging
I know,
anymore.
right? Him and his
Dig away, dig away, dig. I'm
Oh
telling
my
you.
god, that digging was horrible. We're not called the Granite State for nothing. My
Mhm.
god, the rocks coming out of there.
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
remember on the video he was pulling out some
It
right
was
old
awful,
boulders.
Shane. It was awful. I couldn't even just do like one shovelful. I'm like,
How many
another
liters is this
rock.
pond?
I'm out here swearing,
Ding,
throwing rocks.
ding.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
literally
shale,
hear it
there was
every
shale,
time it went
granite.
in.
It was all awful. Boulders. Jeez.
That's crazy.
But when I look back on it, it was fun too. So I did enjoy every step of it.
Yeah, it was a good project as well, especially
Yeah,
with
it
your
was
brother,
fun.
you know, just to build it
And
with him. And
I had great bonding time with my brother, which that
yeah,
was
exactly.
that was just awesome. That I didn't think he would be interested, and he's like, "I'll come over, I'll help you," you know. So it worked out good.
Nice.
Yeah, done well with that. The
Yeah,
pair of you.
it's beautiful.
Mm.
It's I do enjoy being out there. You know, even now, there's nothing I can do. I can't even see my fish. Like I was saying, there wasn't any roof on it, but there was no filter going either because it was already the end of October. So I just had, and that's out in full sun beating down on that all day long. So the water went green like that. And I'm like, I haven't seen my koi since October. I put an underwater camera in there. I bought one just after seeing Chris do it. I was like, that's so cool to see the fish under there. So I bought one and I'm like, yeah, all I see is green water. I can't see it. But nothing's floating. So I'm sure, you know, I mean, I've had those koi for probably about 6 years. So, and that was in my little tiny, shame to say how big that pond was. It was ridiculous. And that was just a preformed that we set on top of the patio and then did blocks around it and filled it in and did it more like a water garden. I had hostas and stuff around it and everything, but I definitely outgrew that. I was like, no, my fish are getting big. And once I found out about just watching channels of feeding the fish better food, I was like, oh boy, I never fed them growth food because I only had the little pond. But now I'm like, oh, I didn't know you can buy this nice food. What is it?
Hikari?
Haki Asari. What am I?
Saki
Sakiyakari.
Saki Hikari. Oh, too funny. I was like, ooh, I can't get Takazuma. That's the one I keep looking for too. But you know, it's funny.
You
I'm
won't
like, well,
get that.
if I ever get to UK, I'm gonna see if I can bring the food back.
Yeah.
Because they won't ship
What
it.
you've got to do is you've got to book yourself with 2 suitcases.
Yeah,
have one full and one empty. So then when you come back, you've already got
Oh, jeez.
So, like Jigsy has just said here, you can get an earth tamper from the DIY store.
That's what I'm gonna go to like Home Depot or something, see if they have something.
Yeah, I would go Home Depot because again, having the US Amazon up $37.
All it is a big piece of metal with a handle.
Yeah.
Now,
just use the board.
Why go out and buy one?
Board and a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy one. I'd rent it if I could, but I'll just use the sledgehammer.
Yeah, just use a board and a sledge.
A sledgehammer is just as good because it's got just as much weight as that little bit of metal plate's going to have.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do that.
Dump, 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 dump.
Yep.
Fill it in. Dump, 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 dump. That was how I built the walls on the pond that was in the front garden.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Literally, I had 2 rows of broken patio slab with the gap in the middle, and I put the soil in. I would then walk up and down and stamp it down, which would also push the walls out like this. So then what I'd do is I'd then go around with a lump of wood and a sledgehammer or a lump hammer, and I'd straighten the wall back up. And then I'd fill it again, and I'd do the same until it built up and then stopped moving to a point where I could walk around the top and it didn't move at all.
Yeah, I wish I had did that as I was filling it, like a dummy. I that was a major boo-boo for me. I should have did it as I was backfilling.
Oh, we live
here done
tamping that down. But it's things learned, you know. I won't do that on the second pond.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly it. You know, always learn something.
Yeah, always learning something, and like I'm always learning something watching the channel. So you know, it's like you can't help but progress on the pond because I'm always picking up something new that I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Has anyone
every
here
day's
done
a school day.
concrete ponds?
Every day is a school day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, yours is concrete, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a concrete.
It is. Yeah.
You don't have any of these issues.
Yeah, I was debating whether to do concrete or not, but I didn't know anything about masonry, and I didn't want to take on something that would cause a bigger problem later because I was ignorant of the fact of what you'd need to do. Again, it's you don't have anybody to ask. They dig holes.
All you need to do is make sure you build in a good amount of piping. If you're doing a concrete pond, like you can only get it wrong if you don't build in enough piping. Like even if you only need 2-3 inch pipes, just put in an extra 2 or 3-inch pipes and put end caps on them and seal them off because you might need them one day. But you know,
but you've got a liner in your main pond, haven't you, Sam?
What?
You've got a liner in your pond, though, isn't you? Or is it?
No, it's fiberglass.
Oh, fiberglass, nice.
Yeah.
What
there
coat
was,
went
George.
on top of the
George,
fiberglass?
What? It's black top coat.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you fiberglass
going
on
on.
top?
Yeah, it's fiberglass as well.
Yeah. You did that black again.
Yeah.
I've been liking
fiberglass.
gray nowadays as a background color to the pond. I did gray on my pond.
Gray.
Yeah. Like a lightish gray, and it kind of gives the water like this lagoonish look. And with the black ponds, you can't see your dark fish, but in this gray pond you can see every fish.
Yeah, but
Makes sense.
that will not stay grey forever. That will
Yeah,
end
it'll
up
go
going a greeny black colour.
I think it'll start going green with surface algae.
Yeah.
You know, it'll start going green with surface
Mine is
algae.
green as well.
Yeah, but even the surface algae will kind of have the background hue of the color that you paint the pond. So if you were to have a white painted pond and then you had surface algae grow on top of it, it would be a lightish green, you know,
No.
because surface algae. No,
I have my wife's granddad has actually a white fiberglass pond.
okay,
And it's completely black
Brown.
green. You can't see the color
wow.
at all. So the algae will cover it up.
Yeah,
Of course it will. Unless
Until
you're
it
literally
dies.
draining the pond and
no,
removing it,
Yeah,
which we
cleaning
never
it
want
up.
to do.
Yeah.
Which we never want to do.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, definitely for in koi pond.
Similar to
You
what
know?
would happen to a swimming pool tile, right? I'd imagine. What would happen to a swimming pool tile is a clear indication of how a paint would react. You know?
Yeah.
I've seen swimming pools that have been left, and as
They've
well as
gone
green
fully
water, their walls aren't blue anymore.
No, like mine. Just like the pool that's up in the greenhouse at the moment.
Yeah.
The sides on it ain't blue no more.
No.
Will all turn into the same color.
Yeah, eventually.
I'm trying out gray for the first time.
Unless you're a doofus and you scrape your pond walls, and then you'll. Oh, mate, honestly.
Oh, look at Chris's face. She's like, no.
I've actually seen videos where people
She
are in
doesn't
their
touch her
ponds
water.
wading, and they're
Yeah, I've seen
scraping
it. Yeah.
their pond
Yeah,
walls. And
I've seen it as well.
No, you just killed a whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I'm not blaming you.
we call that the garbage can effect. That's what that is. It's stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Completely agree with that.
Plus, I think the koi graze off that anyway, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah, they
they
The
do.
stuff
do.
on the sides, yeah. I mean, I know that little temporary pond I had set up out there, that has like string algae like crazy in it. That's the only thing I would pull out of it, and just the rest
Yeah.
on there.
Yep, exactly the same.
Yeah. And
If
that
it's
you
it's
get
over a
that.
certain length, you pull it out. The rest of
Huh?
it, just leave it on the. If it's over a certain length, you pull it out. But if it's just just little strands, then it's fine to stay on there.
It's
As you
fine.
say, just
But
let the koi graze on it.
Yeah.
but the more you pull blankweed out, the more it grows.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're opening up all the spores.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why you hit it with peroxide.
Makes sense.
Hence why I found it in the filter the other day, and I stuck in a half dose of blanket weed treatment straight away because it's the bane of my fucking life out in the back garden.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
What
what you
it
put in, was
means,
it, Vince? Hydrogen
Whether it's
peroxide?
clover leaf or
right? I had the pond running
we
out in
can
the front garden, and that pond was south facing, had sun day in, day out, and it was running on 2 airlifts with plant filters in alpha grog, and I didn't have a patch of fucking blanket weed. I got the pond in the back garden, and in the height of summer, there's like 10 degrees difference between the front and back garden, and fucking main pond was full of blanket weed. Now, how'd you work that out?
Phosphate.
because it's probably
never
because
had blanket weed.
it's got certain areas where as you say, the front was hammered direct sunlight, where out the back they've got obviously the buildings and things like that that can create shade pockets, and it just causes it to just explode.
Yep, definitely. And me personally, no, I don't use any filter start gels or powders at all.
I do.
I do too.
When I first put my first pond, the little pond in, then I didn't use the liquid Pure Plus, but I did use the bio, like the actual balls. I did put some of them in there, but I think it was like the large gel one.
Yeah,
I use
that I put in
a farm scale beneficial bacteria supplement that they use for bioflocks that also promote like plankton growth and things like that.
Right.
And it works out super cheap. When I say super cheap, it works like literage wise, it works out to like 1% of what you buy all of these things for. And I think it does 90% of the work and maybe 30% of some other work that that I think does pretty well. And I've not really had blanket weed issues and things like that. And for the most part, unless my ponds are overstocked, I can turn off my UVs, and that's big boy talk because it's really hot and really sunny in India. So like, and my pond's just 20,000 liters sitting there in the sun baking with fish shitting in it. It's definitely gonna go green if that bacteria is not on point. I think beneficial bacteria supplements are superb, man.
They are.
Once a year,
They are.
or if you're doing a 60% plus water change, definitely.
But surely, and this is just me thinking from an opposite side, surely though that bacteria that's in that container, that tub, in that glue, surely over time and on a shop shelf where the temperatures fluctuate up and down through the summer, surely it must lose some of its effectiveness before you even get it.
If you're buying Pure Plus or something like that, then that matters. But if you're buying a tub that treats a pond that's supposed to be 5 acres and you're buying that for $20, I don't really think it matters if it's losing a little bit of potency. It could lose 50% of its potency and still be absolutely superb for you. Because it's meant to treat.
The funny thing with this is if you keep it, just closed, it
Maureen's like, Sam, show the label.
It's this little teeny tiny square on my phone.
Sure.
Oh, okay, Pure Plus. Okay.
But the container doesn't expand. But if you buy lactic acid bacteria, it expands.
Mm-hmm.
So is this bacteria or is it just bacteria food?
If it's just
Because live bacteria creates, the container would expand if it's live bacteria.
so what I get here is in powdered form.
Yeah, I
And
know
it
that,
looks
Crafty,
like-
but is it? I don't think it's bacteria because live bacteria would produce gases, so the container would expand.
Maybe it's just dormant, right? Maybe they're just dormant in that gel base.
I don't know.
I think that's
And
where it is.
this is my question. I mean, the reason I ask is because those little Evolution Aqua pond balls, the small ones, I've still got them in some of my Easy Pods, and I haven't used them pond balls in about 2 years.
But that's because they shrink to what, a quarter of the size and just stay there. They don't disappear. I have them as well. Used them last year. So
yeah, I can understand what you're saying, Crafty, but surely if it's a live bacteria, surely over a period of time with temperature fluctuations and everything else, it would lose efficiency or effectiveness.
Depends on what bacteria you're using. Like here, I've got cold water beneficial bacteria running right now. I mean, there's different kinds of bacteria.
Yeah, of course.
No, I understand that, Crafty, but can you not see what I'm saying? If it's like, put it a different way. I inject myself with a live bacteria once a week, which lowers my immune system. Now that has to be kept in the fridge because if not, it dies off.
Because it got no food.
Right now, how does that stay alive and keep its efficiency in that container on a shop shelf where the temperatures fluctuate up and down and everything else? That's what I'm saying. Can you see what I mean?
No, it makes sense, man.
I bought this last year, and I don't know if you can see it. The best before is 2025.
I think the best before is gone. I think the best before is gone, Samuel.
I guess I gotta get a laptop.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point.
Little itty bitty.
And they do this. Is it PSB or P something? That bacteria.
The red one, the PSB.
Yeah. And that is only a certain amount of time in the year you can buy them.
Yep.
So I don't know. I use this for as a bacteria food for my other bacteria, and it works.
It works.
So
I say, each to their own. Everyone uses it in all different ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yay for bacteria supplements.
Yeah, I love this. I really love
Samuel's
this.
clearly yay for bacteria supplements. He has various forms of them.
Yes, he's like,
Oh, you
Gel
should see my
form,
shelf.
powdered form. I can imagine, Samuel. Why don't you spin the camera around and take us for a tour?
Nah, I think I'll save
Maybe
that for a
another
video.
day.
Yeah, you save that one for a video because it'll take you about 10 minutes.
But the bacteria, I really love the bacteria stuff because I think it keeps the balance in the pond. It's important. I think it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, lactic acid filter bacteria, something called dry 5 bacteria, all kinds of bacteria.
See, he's got enough for a video. Told you.
Yeah, and I actually have a small container with heat where I can brew my own bacteria.
Man, my fish are gonna spawn again by the looks of it.
Really?
They're chasing again. Yep.
Nice.
No, that's not nice, bro. It's not nice, dude. It's just I need to get them to stop this. You know, there's this one Tancho Goshiki that just seems to be an overproductive female.
Well, and see, this is the issue with your temperatures not going
I'm
below
looking at them
18
right
degrees.
now. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. We've just come out of winter, and they just and they went into it in winter as well.
Yeah, they were at
5
it
times a year.
2 months ago, weren't they? 2-3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm still dealing with the fry from them.
You're going to have to
worst
build
part is
another
they hurt
pond, Sid, and
themselves,
have
man.
males in one pond and your females in another pond, just so you don't get
I
it.
told him what he needs to do. He needs to put a chiller on his system.
Yeah,
I'll
So
make
we
a
can
male-female split. I'm not
cool
adding
the
another piece
bloody
of
bomb
cable.
down.
Dude, you know how much electricity that is? Costs enough to keep your water cold in India, bro. Your drinking water, I mean.
dude, you've got enough sunlight. Put a solar system on.
That's cost more than my pond, man. The solar system to run that thing's gonna cost more than my pond bill. Like, what is wrong with you? You know? See, I think I'll come up with something for that. I'll come up with something.
No doubt. Well, guys, we've been going for 2.5 hours now.
2.5 hours.
Longest one.
That's a long live.
Nice.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jeff? Appreciate you stopping by at the end, buddy.
Hey, Jeff, how we doing, bud? So, yeah.
Hey, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
I'd like to thank Simon for joining us. I would also like to thank Chris and Maureen for joining us. 100%. And you're welcome to join us anytime.
It was fun.
100%.
Good.
So, yeah.
See, I completed my mission.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
Mission successful.
A bit of prodding.
I know.
But you did complete your mission. Well done.
Jigsy, have you noticed you can complete your mission?
Yeah, missions can be completed, Jigsy. And watch out for next week, because next week we have another special guest joining us from across the world. So
exciting.
And no, it's not Canada, and no, it's not America, and it's not Denmark. So you're going to have to ponder and peruse over that one, ready for next weekend. Same time, same place. As always, guys, I've been Twisted Koi.
I've been Hearts. Go on.
Come on, Chris.
Go on, Chris.
Chris from Sweet Acres.
Maureen, he's Koi Haven.
Samuel.
Samuel
from Denmark.
Talk about let the side down,
man. And Sid from Mochiba Koi India, people. Thank you so much for joining
We'll
us.
see you next week,
guys.
Yep. Bye.
If we don't see you during the week on other videos, we'll
Don't
see you
forget
again
to-
next Sunday.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah.
Head over to our
On all
channels.
four
Check our channels out.
on
Check
all
a
four
couple other
channels.
videos out.
Yeah,
Drop some
check
comments.
everybody's out. And we'll catch you all next week, guys.
Bye.
See you next
See you
Sunday.
later.
See you next Sunday.